from a Google standpoint, from a search engine optimization, the moment, so imagine what's the main city here? Boston, right?
Yeah.
If you could have a Boston address, you're gonna have a lot more people searching for lashes in Boston. And two, you raise your prices with 20%. You're gonna lose 10% of the customers because some of them they're not gonna be able to pay. But because you raise your prices with 20%, it's gonna make the profit back. So you're not losing anything. So we talked about getting this Google thing up and running, Google My Business, Instagram, and Facebook at first. In my opinion, these three are enough to get started. You just have to start somewhere. That's the whole thing. Like don't beat yourself up thinking, oh, if I do this is gonna, because you're just gonna look at the positives, right? I always try to pull the positive in front, like, hey, I gotta get it started.
You're listening to the Full-Time Lash Artist Podcast. If you want to jumpstart your lash career, you can also watch Cosme's free lash training at www.fulltimelashartist.com. Let's grow.
So at first, you're gonna have to wear three different hats. So you're gonna have to wear a marketing hat, a sales hat, and a lash. I'm not saying that you're always going to wear these hats, but you're gonna have to understand when you have to use it and why. Yeah. So at first, regardless if we're talking about Instagram, Google, YouTube, TikTok, or all these other platforms, you're gonna have to market yourself, right? In my opinion, this should be the last thing that you wanna outsource. Because have somebody else do it for you. Because if you don't know the messaging that's required, so marketing's job is just to get your brands and your business message and products and services out to the world. And marketing's job stops right there. Now you're gonna have to learn how to talk to a customer and convert it from a lead, right? First you need leads, first you need traffic, then you convert that into leads. And then you have to convert them into sales. Only after that, when the person comes into the salon, now you're gonna have to put the sales hat down and be a good lash tech, right? So let's go back. So you were on Instagram. You were just scrolling because there's no search. You can search for hashtags, but then first you got introduced to her ad. So that was paid advertising. So marketing is actually split between advertising. A lot of people get confused and say, well, marketing is advertising. No. Marketing is actually split between advertising and branding. The salon itself and the product line, it's called Limit Lashes, right? So that's the business that eventually anybody, we decide in the future, want to sell the salon or we want to franchise it or whatever, it's not attached to her name, right? Like, you can run eventually. Let's say we decide next week we want to open a Lash in a Box franchise and it's operated under Limit Lash's name. Anybody can buy it and then run it on their own, right? Personal branding means you went to her personal name, Instagram, and it's an instant connection when you are able to put a face to a name and then now you start interacting with that person versus if you would have seen the ad from Limit Lashes and you see the logo, you don't know exactly who you're talking to. You don't like it's a little bit of way more work to sell a service from an actual salon, especially when it comes to training, right? So I'm not saying that one is necessarily better than the other, but if you want to be known as a lash artist in your city, so depending what you decide, we'll talk in a second about market research, based on where you're gonna open the salon, or let's say you start at first and just have some clients in a room, you rent the room or whatever it is. It's important to know if you decide to go with a business name or with a personal name, because if you want to be well known as a lash artist, it's important to understand what are the differences between these two, right? So that's what personal branding means. You have your name as the lash artist, but you can still have, from a legal standpoint and from an insurance standpoint and from a bank account standpoint and all that, you can still have the business name under, right? You are the person that's running it anyway.
Yes.
But if you want to promote the services, in my opinion, at the beginning, it's an instant connection with people, right?
Definitely.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you need lashes? Do women need lashes?
Yes.
No. If the world ends tomorrow, can you? If you get say we get an asteroid tomorrow, and then now I only have 30 days to live. Do you need lash? You don't.
No.
Exactly.
But I want to die cute though.
Once you have them on, and I know it sounds weird to come from a man to hear these words, but
He knows everything. Beautiful.
because I'm behind the videos and all that, I've heard so many things and I've learned so much about the industry that now I feel like, damn, I can almost.
You can do.
So, but once you have them on, it's hard to not come back for it, right? So it's an important lesson for both of you to understand when you set up your pricing, because one, they're not cheap. So when you try to sell lashes for cheap, you attract an audience that eventually, when you want to raise your prices, you're either gonna lose them all, but here's why. Imagine, so let's make a quick stop here. So 10 times 300 a month, it's 3,000 plus the 300 for the first time. So on average, a customer spends about $3,300 a year on lashes. That's not cheap, right? So what does that tell you? You don't want people that don't make money. You want people, you want to go after people that make a minimum. You want to build your clientele thinking about long term and thinking about, all right, how can this person afford this on a monthly basis? Because if you just get a customer for one time and then they're not coming back, you don't have a business, right? And let me tell you, this is the fact that you can advertise. You advertise pretty much one time in theory. You get one customer, and that customer is coming back all this time for all these refills, right? A lot of businesses don't have this luxury. Like my first company was a moving and storage company. A person only moves every 10 years, 5-10 years, right? We still advertise the same amount of money to acquire one person. Now, yes, there are referrals programs that you can put in place in terms of, hey, we pay you $100 if you send us a customer that. So, but the same thing can apply here, right? Like you make a referral program where, hey, you send me a customer, you get $50 off your next set of lashes, things like that, right? So think about this when you start offering your services. I understand that it's a learning curve at first, and you have to be confident with your ability to apply lashes professionally. And maybe it takes you a few weeks, maybe it takes you a few months, depending on how much time you have on your plate to do these services for free. But in my opinion, the moment you feel, and again, you should never try to find an excuse of, hey, I'm not confident enough, so I'm keep doing it for free, because eventually you're gonna burn out thinking like, damn, I'm doing all this work for free. And at first it's gonna take you 3-4 hours, whatever. I remember because we did the first couple of sets. And she had the salon, quote unquote, it was an office next to my office. And I knew what time she went inside and what time I'm like, oh damn, like 4 hours and for free. But one thing that I wanna make sure because you mentioned the testimonials. Even though you offer your services for free, ask for a favor for the person that's coming and getting their lashes for free to leave you either a 5-star written review on Google or a video testimonial.
Those are important.
Either
or.
In my opinion, if you get 2 video testimonials, you're fine. With those, really, because Mina's actual lash business, not the training, was built on 2 video testimonials
we were running those two
because those 2 videos you can run them as ads continuously.
And I just through my phone with my client.
You saw the testimonial. You saw the testimonial now on the website. It's the iPhone. And then, so those are for trainings. Those are for training. Those are with students. But the same thing she did for
clients,
actual lash clients. Same exact thing. Some people will say, "I'm not comfortable on camera. Please don't." That's fine. You'll get people. But again, that's why you only need 2 videos. The written ones, get as many as you can on Google. So, because we are here still at marketing, the one platform that you want to start as soon as possible, even before Instagram, it's Google My Business. It's free. It's going to bring you organic SEO, search engine optimization. When people, like you mentioned, you searched lash artists near me. Now, most likely you clicked on an ad because we advertise on Google. Advertising. So I'll show you in a second. And trust me, the reason that I know the system works is Ta-da, you're here. You're here. Scroll here below and see.
She's the first one.
Well, I'm here, so I say Lash training near me. If I go in Boston, maybe she'll be the third one. It'll be more people, right?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about when I say Google My Business. So again, personal branding, it's her name, right? So when it's Lash training, it's one thing for people at first, you search for Lash training, right? But now you know her name. So now in the future, every time when you'll think, hey, maybe I want another class to master more volume or mega volume or whatever, now you know her name. You're probably not going to search again Lash training. You're probably going to just look and see what's her name, right? So that's what I mean when, personal brand. But this is Google My Business. So this is one thing that you only need the Gmail, and then decide what's going to be your name that you want to go for, both on Instagram and Google, right? So the same name that you're going to have, it's important for these to match because in the future, again, all of these things.
Social media, right? Not just Instagram. So Google and social media.
So that's like all the platforms that you're gonna be on, it's important to have the same name. So don't have on one name, on one platform, one name, and then on the other have an underscore or whatever. don't do that because Google is gonna not connect the dots and they're gonna be like, these two are not together, they're not gonna link together. So you're gonna lose a lot of traffic. All right, any questions up until this point?
It's probably what you said, but how do you go about picking a good name? Her brand is Limit Lashes and it's like by Cosmina, right? So her name's in there too.
And you have
if you want to add your name to your brand, should it be like Lashes by Mina or should I have it like a whole nother brand name?
She's
my name is Mina.
So there's really think about this. I'm trying to think about
to the name.
Right.
I'm trying to think about a good way to put it. An actual name or a name of a business is really nothing until you make something out of it. Mm-hmm. You can always change the name.
You can?
But you don't want to do that.
You don't. It's a great question but Limit Lashes is not the first version.
Oh, really?
No.
This is the third.
trademark?
So first one was Limitless Beauty Boss. Then was Limitless. No, that was like a long time ago when you were doing makeup. Then was Limitless Passion something. I can't remember that. Then we were Limitless Beauty Boss, and then it was Limitless Lashes. And believe it or not, I came up with the name actually.
Limit Lashes?
Well, first we were like Limitless, and I'm like, I don't like Beauty Boss. It just sounds too weird. It's not lashes related.
Yeah.
So, but to go back and answer your question, one, look at a couple of competitors. Go and scroll through some of the names that they have, right? The reason that I put the name, legal name is not Limit Lashes by Cosmina. The logo is like that. Mm-hmm. So the legal name is not Limit Lashes by Cosmina.
The legal name is Cosmina.
Just the legal name is Limit Lashes LLC because you're required by law when you create an LLC.
And for this it was here too. So right, Cosmina?
So on the website if you look on the bottom, whatever.
On the stuff that she gave us, it looks like LLC, like professional, like the brand.
But you require So when I say you can change your name all the time, so Limit Lashes LLC is required by law on IRS website. You go and apply for a tax ID number because you don't want to run the business by your social because there's a horror story that
I'm not trying to do that either. So what was it that you said? I don't want to do it through
So you don't want to be a sole proprietor.
I don't.
So this my biggest mistake that I did in my life. 2015, started the business. I had no idea. I didn't have money. I didn't hire a consultant, any of that. So I just went and I went on IRS website and I start a new business. And the first thing was sole prop. Sole prop is a contractor. So think about construction, right? You go and you fix somebody's wall. You're a contractor. So that person typically is a sole proprietorship. That means you run your business with your social security number. That's public information. Anybody can.
I don't know how America does that. So
no, but it's not.
It's not for everything.
It's not, and you shouldn't do it. It's the easiest way to get audited by the IRS.
Course.
So you go and again, disclaimer: I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a CPA, none of that.
But it's all correct.
You can go to irs.gov and you apply for a tax ID number. It's called EIN.
Yes.
Employer Identification Number. Exactly. Well, exactly. So when you W-2, if you're employed, you'll see it from your employer.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So now you go on the other side of the boat, you being the employer, You apply for the tax ID number, but you apply for it's called LLC, because it's going to ask you what type of entity you want to apply for. And it's called LLC, Limited Liability Company. So that protects you from, God forbid, so let's assume in this case, right, because as a customer, God forbid, she drops a drop of a glue in somebody's eye, that person wants to sue her. She cannot sue her directly, she's going to sue the company. The company only owns what you see here in the salon, which is nothing. Like they cannot go after Cosmina's car, they cannot go after Cosmina's house, none of that, because you're protected. You're protected by, or somebody slips and they break a leg, or right. So you want to do that. Then you want to go and get liability insurance, another thing, $200 a year, nothing really crazy. But you want.
That's a whole other insurance. You can't get a deal with that.
What do you mean? You have multiple businesses?
That would be for multiple businesses.
No.
Like, because you have your home, you have the insurance, you got
Yes,
the car.
you call the same agent and you say, and you tell him or tell her, hey, I just open up a business. I do lashes. You make sure you explain that you don't do nails, you don't do hair, you don't do makeup, because everything has its own type of liability. So I only do eyelashes. That's it, unless you do other services, right? Thank you. And then I'm just gonna give you an actual policy liability. You protect it up to, I don't know, $500,000 or something like that. And it's only $300 a year. That's it. You renew it every year. Nothing crazy. All right, so back to the question with the name. There's really no right or wrong, right? You can take some examples. In this case, when the only reason that we said, all right, I'm gonna separate, because Mina had before this a cleaning company. I don't know if she had a chance to tell the story. Yeah. She said, I don't want employees anymore. I'm sick and tired of that. I want to just work as much as I can by myself. And I said, so there are two ways to scale a business. You either go horizontal, a salon in every major city. That requires a lot of employees. She said, hell no, I don't want that. And I said, all right, then we're going to scale yourself vertically. What does that mean? Courses, trainings, online courses. We're writing a book for her now, podcast, YouTube. So you go around yourself and you go vertical by monetizing your expertise, right? You see this in a lot of, if you're online and you look at Gary Vee, especially in the business world, it's a lot of people that offer coaching, consulting, things like that, services like this. So you scale yourself vertically with these services like this. Think about this, you'll see yourself in a few months or maybe a year or 2 years after you start a business and realize, maybe I want, like if she would have asked me, hey, and I'm good having employees, what do you think? I like having employees. Like right now, we're going to have a barbecue today. There's going to be 30 people. These are all 30 of my employees. I like having a lot of people that I can meetings with, and she hates it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like we're completely different from that standpoint. So, but again, you do you, whatever you feel once a couple months.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because, when I was thinking of doing this, the reason was because I know a lot of Spanish barbershops over there and salons. So they split it. They like to split it, or they'll do rooms and you rent it. Yeah. So how do you have an LLC in a room that's not stable? Let's say you'll still have your own brand, your own LLC.
So let me make sure I understand. You mean you renting a room, or you owning the building and renting it to somebody else?
You rent a room.
You rent the room as you go to them.
Kind of like a barber. Like a barber does, they rent the chair, right?
And they give you a chair.
So we were talking about this, 2 days ago. We said you drew yourself out of this, so we're looking now for a bigger space.
But, I'm sorry to cut you off, but address.
Your name. Can you do your name in there? If
it's
a different salon?
For the LLC and everything, like they're going to ask you for those things, like address, and what if you change out of that and it doesn't work out? With that spot.
Changing the address? You can change your address every week if you want.
Does it matter where you do your work? Is your brand just like it goes everywhere with you, right?
Yes, but here's what's really important. From a Google standpoint, from a search engine optimization, the moment, so imagine what's the main city here? Boston, right?
Yeah.
If you could have a Boston address, you're gonna have a lot more people searching for lashes in Boston versus lashes in Medford versus lashes in. It's a different thing when you search lashes near me and people are in Haverhill or Peabody or whatever it is. But when people search, because you can ask me at the end, I'll give you a couple tools that you can, a couple websites that will tell you the actual traffic of people searching for different keywords. But again, if you could have an address in Boston, that would mean I don't even know. I don't know the numbers in terms of the percentage. Probably 4, 5, 700% more traffic to your salon because you have a Boston address, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do when you're in Haverhill? Of course, you're not going to want to do the commute every day. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But let me make sure I answered the question. So you asked, what do you do when you rent a room and
like
you go
a
there?
boost. Yeah, because it's not giving me much stability. But to me right now, it might be an option. I might just do it
To
from my
start.
house when I'm ready. I
Mhm.
was gonna start in my house,
Sure.
but since my husband's mother, she works, and so I feel like she's gonna be. Do you have a space? Do you have my? I feel like she's gonna be telling everybody. So I feel like I'll most likely find something.
So there are a couple things to that. Every time when you change your address, you're gonna have to prove to Google that you actually do your business there. Meaning
yeah.
they want to see a little bit of a logo somewhere. So you're gonna put your logo in the living room. That's fine. Now you're also gonna have to understand, and I'm not saying because Mina lost some customers when they came I remember one time, I will never forget this. I was in the office. It was 4:30 p.m. It was winter, already dark. A lady came in for lashes, and then she came, and it was actually a storage building. She was like, "Oh my God, where is she taking me?" And she left. So there are. It's a commercial building. I thought, was it going in a storage building? What is it? Right? So
It was like
so there will be people that you lose doing business out of your living room, and you just have to be okay with it. There are pros and cons. Pros is you're not going to pay rent, you're not going to pay a lot of different bills, and that's fine, right? Depending how parking is, maybe you'll have the luxury of having people park there, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong when you outgrow yourself out of that living room and then you move to a new place. You go to this barber now or whatever different place, right? When you have your lashes done in Stoneham, it's a building. What does it say on the building?
JC Salon.
So it's her name?
It's the building's name.
So it's not her name.
No.
So see,
So she
because we
rents
were
space.
thinking about
Yeah.
renting a space, renting a bed to a girl here. She has a lot of students, and then some students ask, "Hey, Kuzmina, do you ever hire?" And I'm not a big fan of hiring a lash artist as a W-2 employee because now,
It's my name on it. No.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah.
name on the game.
yeah,
How does that work? Yeah.
you just hire them, and then depending on what do you offer them, do you offer them an hourly rate, meaning, hey, you get paid $20 by maybe you have one day that she's just sitting around. You have to understand that you're gonna have to pay her $20 regardless if she's sitting around.
Yeah.
But if the moment to hire somebody is when your calendar is fully booked and you're not able to add another customer to your calendar.
Yeah.
Now you have two ways to go about it. One, if you like employees, you hire somebody to take some of the volume out of your plate. Two, what do you think?
Sorry.
Come in here and mess your game. And two, you raise your prices with 20%.
Okay.
You're gonna lose 10% of the customers because
They
some of them they're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
pay. But because you raise your prices with 20%, it's gonna make the profit back. So you're not losing anything.
Yeah.
You actually lose a couple hours in your calendar by doing less work,
The
more money.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you don't hire before your calendar is fully booked. Up until that point, you just don't think of hiring at all.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense, logic, financially.
Mhm.
It makes no sense to hire somebody because if you don't have enough customers, how are you going to give the other person, right? Now, if you have the luxury to, let's say, maybe you own a commercial space or you, I don't know, you do something like that. And I said, because she had different age brackets, different
Yeah.
people. And I said, who's the ideal customer? So in her case, her name is Jennifer. She's 45 years old and she lives in Winchester. She makes over $75,000 a year and probably she works in banking or some type of money. So where is Jennifer hanging out? So always, it's funny when I mention names, but you really want to put a name and a face on the person because now you'll start to understand this is really advanced marketing stuff.
That's thinking ahead.
Think, where are these people hanging out? What events? What type of, what do they like? Do they watch movies or they listen music or they listen to podcasts? Do they party all the weekends or they try to work on themselves and listen to motivational, right? Like you're gonna start to understand a lot more after people start coming in and you're gonna connect with them and it's 2 hours, 3 hours staying there. gonna slowly, after a couple of weeks, you're gonna slowly learn a lot more about themselves and see what they do. So a lot of people, they come to because they're some business owners, some employees as well, but again, they have to make decent amount of money to afford the service. So think about that when you, of course, not in the first person that you charge for, but after 10, in my opinion, that would be a sweet number to understand. Are these 10 people my ideal customers? And you're probably going to say no, but hopefully 40-50% of them are.
Yeah.
So then, based on those 40-50%, you're going to start building your referral program. So you're going to tell them, hey, by the way, in case you have a friend, don't forget I have this referral program. I'll give you $25. Because we're going back to this. When you start advertising, let's say you start on Instagram because it's the easiest and fastest way to get something going. Like you can boost the $5-10 a day. Now, is it boost a post the most ideal way to do it? No, but it's better than nothing. Instead of trying to take so many online courses to learn how to do it because Instagram is owned by Facebook and it's a different platform. So the easiest way is just to get one thing going, right? Because Facebook and Instagram are connected together. When you create your Instagram account, your Google page, you also want to have a Facebook business page.
Okay.
Why? Because you don't do twice the work. You only set it up and then you integrate it with Instagram. And every time when you post something, you just select share on Facebook too.
Okay.
And it automatically shares. Now, when you create your customer persona and who's the ideal customer you want to serve all the time, if her name is also Jennifer and she's 45 years old, most likely she's going to spend her time in a lot of Facebook groups.
That's why I said Facebook.
Right? So that's why you cannot be thinking about marketing with a sentiment like, I hate Facebook, I don't post.
I know.
It doesn't matter what you like. It matters what the customers, it matters where Jennifer is spending her time. So that's how you have to think about it. What's in it for them? Well, I'm showing the advertising, the post, the ad with the right offer where she is hanging out today, right? So that's how you have to think, what's in it for her? Well, she's already on Facebook, let me just put it out there. But at the same time, advertising and traffic and all of this, it's all about testing. So until you test, you're not gonna know if it works or not. And it's a lot of trial and error at first, but what we found it worked the best was before and after photos with a really great
testimonial.
No, so that would be the second one. So first one would be before and after, and that really goes after the main audience, the people that have never had a lash set before. Yeah, because you show before and after.
That's so true.
That's
like
exactly
with anything, before and after, facial, before and after. It's so true.
And you can use canva.com. You can write that down. It's a free tool that you can do anything from your business cards, design.
And YouTube, you can use that for YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube thumbnails. Now you can even edit videos. I don't necessarily recommend that for editing.
That's what I would use it for years ago.
Videos? Oh, so it's just, in my opinion, there are a lot easier tools than that for videos, but it's nothing wrong.
I'm talking about years ago.
Whatever you can.
Now there's so much advanced things out there.
So the first best offer that we found, the first best ad that we found that worked the best was before and after. Again, you don't know what to write in the post, go to ChatGPT and you tell the robot, write me an Instagram ad promoting my summer special offer of $25 off classic eyelashes.
Wow.
And you can even say it again. Rewrite it again, make it twice as long. Rewrite it again, make it more beginner friendly. But it's good for us as business owners because now it saves you so much time. You don't have to learn copywriting as much, and not from the beginning. You can just save so much time. You don't have to hire somebody. Like, for example, if I have to publish 20 blog articles this week, I literally tell ChatGPT, write me 20 blog article titles that have to do with eyelash training and make them SEO optimized for the keyword lash training in Boston.
Sheesh.
So now it's just gonna spit 20 titles. I'm gonna copy those 20 titles and I'm gonna go in a different, open a new session and say, write me 20 blog articles with these titles and make them all 2,000 word each and SEO optimized for lash training in Boston. You would have
And
to
then
pay.
goes your
You would have to
fund.
pay so much to get this done, and it would have taken you a couple days. So now you can save a lot of time. All right, so we talked about getting this Google thing up and running, Google My Business, Instagram, and Facebook at first. In my opinion, these three are enough to get started.
Yes.
And then the only thing that you would miss from here would be to go on Fiverr and have somebody, based on your research of market research competition, see what their websites look like, and just go on Fiverr and hire somebody for $100, $200 to design you a 1-page or 2-page website, just to have it ready to go. Right? Nothing fancy. Again, you can hire somebody to do the logo and the website. So you pick the colors, you pick the logo, and then you have that one done. And then with these three platforms and Fiverr for someone to get you the website done, pretty much have your business ready to go. But in my opinion, the most important one here would be Google, because that would be the first thing that someone would type in on Google Maps. So Google, Instagram, and Facebook business page. And then we just mentioned that these three are the only platforms that you need to get started. And then to hire somebody on Fiverr, once you do your research, so you have your name, business, you know the domain is ready to go, you buy it on GoDaddy. Then you do your market research, you look at a couple of websites, and you hire somebody once you have the name ready, you hire somebody on Fiverr to do the logo and the website for you. You shouldn't spend more than $350 for that.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's like one set of lashes. When you're good at it.
Yeah, so now let's fast forward a little bit. You start taking a couple paid customers, and the way to go is now you have to start using some ads. In order to, in my opinion, the best way to start is to have at least 9 posts on your Instagram page,
Okay.
and at the same time it's Facebook.
Then we can make a whole new Instagram page, of course.
In my opinion, you should.
Yeah, because I don't want to mix personal with.
Yeah, you can still have your name, or at least the first name in there. Like if you look at Cosmina's page.
Lash Trainer Pro.
Yeah, for lash training.
Oh, the
for
training.
lashes, we have a limit lashes.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I have 3. The one that you follow me is the one that I
training.
post a lot, and I'm there every day.
For the training, the reason that we kept it as her personal name was because she said, all right, in the future, we might end up selling the salon business, the actual eyelash service. We might sell the lash product line because that's its own business. But the training, she said, no, I want to do trainings forever, at least at this point in time, or maybe online courses or whatever. So I want to be known for that. So think about that for the future. You can, at first, you still used your name, even at the beginning for lashes. We only started Limit Lashes a year ago, the actual salon page. So she started as even using her name as the lash artist. Because why? Even on Instagram, even though it's not, so search engine still works on any platform. So we had Cosmina Lash Artist instead of now Lash Trainer.
Well, just your name. Literally. You were like the
No,
only person
you want to use...
in Massachusetts. What's Cosmina?
Right?
If you want to use Lash Artist, even in the name, now because of verification, we had to remove it. But
I know what she's doing, like what she specializes in. That's what
no,
I do.
for search engine
Oh,
purposes. If someone eventually, we had, I don't know, 1 or 2 students in these years, they said, no, I actually typed in Lash Trainer or Lash Training on Instagram and you popped up. So time to time, it's happening. I'm not saying that it's happening, times, but it's important to have.
Yeah.
So there are 2 things. It's the username, which is the Cosmina's Lash Trainer Pro. For a long time, we had Lash Extension Artist. For the longest time, we had that username. Lash Extension Art. We still own it because I kept it, but we had it there. So you can have Lash Extension or Lash Artist Haverhill, right? That would be a really tricky.
This is gonna be in my post.
No, this is just the username. Lash Artist Haverhill, whatever. Then you have the name, which is your name, and then Lash Artist, right? And then in the bio, you should populate it with salon in Haverhill, Mass. And then even having the full address in the bio. If
This is like your page, right?
this is on Instagram. This is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is for Cosmina. What do you think is use Lash Tech or Artist? Because I've been seeing that a lot. Like, difference.
I think for me, lash artist.
Artist.
Really? Lash artist.
Lash Tech is more of a tool used by trainers and by you guys as the actual business owners, because you know what lash tech, a customer wouldn't
Lash
search.
artist, yeah,
A regular customer
Yeah.
has no idea what tech means, like lash.
right.
Tech because
You're in
I
the
heard
business
nail
already.
technician, blah blah.
Yeah.
Esthetician.
Because you didn't search for lash services. You search for
Training.
Training.
exactly. So see what I mean? You're
That's
the business
true.
owner.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's the owner mindset that searches.
Wait. That's true.
It's the business owner mindset that searches for these.
Yeah.
And before I forget, the 9 post that Marianne said about Instagram,
Oh, yeah.
is an podcast episode, like
Yes.
how what you should do, like very in detail. It's maybe
Exactly
the
what to
9
say in the
posts, like
box. Yeah, even on her YouTube channel, if you go and you see both of us, I think it's called. Obviously, you'll know which episode.
You
it is.
have one on your page now.
That's the short version on
Yeah, but
Instagram.
it made me
Pushes
wanna.
you.
You know,
Page and obviously do my own like use it as a reference as like
Oh,
what to put.
of course.
Of course.
I mean, that's the whole.
like you wanna have something to copy.
Yeah.
You can literally use it what she uses for training and translate it into
So
actual.
like
Yeah,
Or
artists.
even look
Yeah.
at Limit Lash's Instagram.
yeah.
And
Don't-
forever hill,
Yeah.
it's fine. In time you're gonna there are things that you're gonna add and remove, but there are some specific things that you want to always keep on, especially the change location.
that's
make
that's
sure
my
it's-
biggest thing because I don't know if you guys dealt with Spanish people. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to deal with that. That's what I was telling you. Cosmina told me that.
Employees, like you don't want to have employees. That's what you mean, or what is?
No.
Or customers.
Like, you know, the training, the
Mhm.
lash. So it's what I'm trying to say is I feel like I have spots to start working in,
Mhm.
but
Like
they're
space.
yeah.
Oh, you don't want to? Okay, I see.
But
what
the
you-
thing is that it's gonna be pricey for me because they're gonna charge me weekly. That's
Yeah,
what
JJ is from New York and she lived in New York for like 8 years, nail tech, and then she came back to Haverhill because that's where she's from. She's in a salon.
it's a problem.
it's
I
like-
feel like
That's kind of messed up.
yeah.
Not messed up, but
And then I just it gossip so much. I'm not trying to do
You
it
charge
all
her?
the time.
Well,
How do you do
yeah,
that?
to
Just
make it
show
a-
up to do a lash and then they're gonna think you hate everybody there. I don't know. Like I don't wanna.
You have to stop. You're talking about, so you know the
I
people?
don't know them, but I know like the environment. You know, I don't waste time in that type of environment. For that, I stay in
So
my
don't
house.
go in the environment.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like
But that's
for-
like I feel like that'll be fast. You know, like in 3 months, then that's more legit. You get what I'm saying? Like come to the salon and it's a salon and you got feel very comfortable. But
Yeah, so again, there will be people that will use if you ask them to come at home. So that's that, right?
Yeah.
There are always pros and cons.
exactly.
The pros in here will be you're not paying rent, you're not paying a lot of different expenses. But the cons is some people, especially the paid customers, especially people that don't know you, like your friends will be fine coming.
That's
Some
true.
people that will come from ads that never know you, and now you
Mhm.
sell them on the phone, and then you tell them, hey, come,
To
and
my
I do
house.
So some of them will be fine, but then some of them. So that's another thing. You won't be able to charge the same prices at home as you would be in a salon because just the nature of the business. But again, it's just pros and cons. You just have to start somewhere.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing. Like don't beat yourself up thinking, oh,
If I go.
if I do this is gonna, because you just gotta look at the positives, right? Like always try to pull the positive in front. Like, hey, I gotta get it started. Like regardless what I do, if I do it at home, do it at home, the free ones, and then have at least at some point you're gonna have to start charging regardless if it's your friends or not.
Yeah.
So again, the time. Once you have 1 or 2 people that you charge at home, now you're like, okay, looking for a place maybe that it's a little more affordable. So do the math.
Yeah.
How many, it's $800 a month, how many lashes you need for to cover that?
Yeah.
3, 4. Do you have now in your calendar 3, 4? No. Okay, I'm gonna go back and still make sure I get at least 2 or 3 people that pay me monthly. And now you have 500 coming in. All right, do I afford another 300 by myself? Yeah, so at some point you're gonna have to go a little bit into the uncomfortable
Yeah.
to get out of your comfort zone, because at home you're gonna be in your comfort zone, let's be honest, right? Like you're gonna know, hey, even if I don't get as much customers, it's fine, I don't pay rent, I don't pay this and that. So I'm not kidding, you're not gonna be pushed to grow.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have kids, family, you have bills to pay.
Mhm.
So you want to take, in a way, I call it validated risk kind of thing, right? So as long as you break even, you can move. Now just search for something that doesn't require you a long term. So here when we signed a 3-year lease.
That's what I.
The office, it was month to month. Yeah, don't go with full-blown 3-year lease, God forbid.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not-
Getting yourself.
Not at the beginning. You know, even if the person says, hey, even if the person says, hey, 3-year, you know, I'm just out, do you mind in a 6-month? It's going to be a little more per month, most likely. And some people will say no. Okay, next, boom, and then you move on.
If you're making enough, then you can stay and extend it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those things. Rent a not a chair, rent a bed in a room. Rent a little room in a bigger place. There are a lot. Look on Craigslist in Malden, Stoneham, August, all of the places out.
I think
These
everywhere you can find.
It's a really good business model from a real estate standpoint to buy commercial space and then divide it and don't even put names on it. You know, everybody that comes in, you can put your own name on it.
Yeah.
Right? So you have multiple boom, boom, boom. Look on Craigslist. There are a lot of salons. They don't advertise it as Lash Salon, so look for beauty salon for rent. Right? Things like that.
Okay.
But going to this, so interruption marketing is IG, Facebook, TikTok, and all the rest. We don't even have to cover them all. Instagram and Facebook is what we care about now. And the more you get 1 or 2 customers, you're ready to promote.
Really?
Yes.
Like-
So again, doesn't matter, like your friends have to pay you at some point.
That's what I was gonna ask you that. Okay, because I already have so many people like me, and I'm just like, I don't even know really what I'm doing yet. But it's like, all want to come to me, and I don't know yet. But it's like when I come to practice with my family 1st. When do I say, okay, now I need to start charging? Like after the first 5 practices or 6? Or
There's really no number. So there can be, depends how much time you put in. So
yeah, 'cause I don't
think about learning
hours
anything
that
new.
I have to
If you have time to do 5 people next week,
Imagine how quick you're gonna,
you realize you go from
understand.
4 hours to 3 to,
Right.
or maybe you stay at 3 for a while because you're really careful.
Exactly.
You'll know doing a
Yes.
set when the person comes in and like, yeah, I'm just getting this boom, boom, boom. I'm not,
That's
you don't
when
even
you
think. When you realize, oh, I'm good. But again, don't use that as an excuse because everybody's different. Like you'll be different from how you're confident and comfortable doing the service versus her versus other students.
Yeah.
So you'll know, but at the same time, because you did maybe the same person a few times for free, you might feel uncomfortable charging. And you have to get out of that. You're gonna have to,
That's it. My mom and my
Yeah.
sister. That's it.
yeah, so you're gonna have to,
Older,
Yeah.
still young. So it's like
different type of shoe, different type of
my mom has it a
skin.
lot.
Yeah.
So
You can see different.
So that's a good
types of-
point
yeah.
because once you do somebody for free a couple times,
They
it's
don't wanna
gonna
charge
be
them.
hard.
I know, because I know my friends will be like, oh really? Like
Charge. Oh, I'm not coming. No.
Of course, I'm gonna charge you.
No, if they're real friends, and I'm gonna say something that
They
should not even ask you for a discount. They should actually tip you
Oh, yes, yes.
because I mean, real friends actually support the business, not ask you for discounts.
Yeah.
But again, even when you start charging, so then of course you're gonna have to act professional from the beginning,
Yes.
regardless if you know the person, it's a friend. Like still, have the kind of vibe, whatever.
But like,
But the service itself, you still have to explain her, hey, like don't drink coffee before you come in. If she talks too much, make sure you're doing the set. Like, hey,
Everybody's quiet now. I said to everybody, we were like 4-5 minutes. Everybody's quiet because they started to cry. We were like this.
and the first things that are gonna start happening, they're gonna
when she
leave,
starts laughing, then it's like,
Yeah.
and they're gonna leave, and next day they're gonna text you, oh, I got like half a mashes gone, and you're like, damn, what did I do wrong? And then you start asking, did you sleep with the eye in the pillow on that side? You shouldn't have. I told you what. I know it's weird coming from me, but I sleep on that side now, right? So they're gonna go at the beach. They're gonna go barbecue. All that getting burned at the barbecue, the grill. All of these things they're gonna
I'm
happen.
gonna have to write all these, like,
Well, she said
cautionary.
Your bestie that you're gonna
You later.
explain them at the end as it is a real customer, because especially if they pay you, they're gonna say, go.
I thought of was that she said the aftercare video.
You send it to all the people.
Yeah.
You send them like literally copy the YouTube video.
Right
and
after
send
they,
it.
like,
Yeah.
after they.
Walk them a little bit through, but then you
Yeah.
send them.
So and then the pre-video, like you said, not to drink coffee, the rules. Is that like something I can send in the text? Like,
You can text them the video. There is a
Oh,
video
okay.
about that too. Don't drink coffee, no energy, no whatever, nothing. Yeah, there is a video on that too. My video. Copy, send it to them.
okay.
But yeah, these things,
We gotta move.
they're gonna. 5 minutes, I'm out of here. A lot of these things you're gonna encounter as you
Yeah.
start going through the stuff, right? Like you're gonna start doing the service free or paid at some point.
One more question, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Like payment wise, is there like a go guide when I actually decide to start charging people, friends or whatever, and I'm
Go-to guide?
comfortable enough? How much should I charge?
No, I thought she was talking about payment methods.
Payment
Oh,
method.
no.
On your
Even that
phone.
one, I'm gonna explain it.
Okay, because if I gotta buy the little
Competition.
swipey.
Pricing is competition always. You look at the top 10, direct competitors, indirect competitors. Direct competitors, people next door. If you don't have next door competitors, you look at the city next.
You always go a little
You never go as high because you're not going to have the authority, and you don't go the
unless
lowest.
you're like,
Right.
yeah.
You go in the middle
You
because
want to sell your
you don't want to stall because again, if you go really cheap, the moment you get booked up, you raise your price because that's the formula that we use most of the
Okay.
times. When you're booked up, you raise your prices 20%,
Okay.
and you lose
Oh,
10%.
there's a paper.
And you lose 10%. Typically, that's what happens. Last time you raised your prices, you didn't lose anybody. So what do you wait 2 more months and then you,
And I had a few of them that I said,
and hopefully.
I hope.
Yeah.
So, when you're ready to start running your first promo, the first ad is when you have at least 2 to 5 customers that are paid already. So you have 2 to 5 that are paying you. Are you ready to take more customers? Go on Instagram, promote one of these before and afters, and then based on what offer you decide to promote, a trick I advise you to use, you can use a really aggressive offer at first, like 50% off classic eyelashes. But then the
So
moment they
people are
come,
attracted.
in the door, you show them the difference between classic and volume.
Amazing.
People are gonna go, oh damn, I want
They
volume.
always-
Sure, the
yeah.
offer is for classic, right? So volume is full price.
Great.
But there's nothing wrong with it. The offer is still, you still want classic? Fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I do that even now.
What if they
That
asked me, can you
is
give me any full set? Because I came here thinking I was going to only pay this much. I only brought this.
Well, you only pay this much for this, right?
Yeah.
Now, if your calendar is really empty, throw in a 25
Yeah.
off.
Okay. Yeah.
Or if your calendar actually is looking decent, you throw the discount on the refill. You don't throw it on the.
Okay,
Full
not
set.
that because that's too much. Because it's more. It's gonna be more off.
Yeah, if you have or you're using this offer and you use this strategy and you realize it works 90% of the times, and
Do
actually
it.
90% of the times you
Oh,
work
yeah.
here. So when people come in, then you show them those. Typically, you want to show them 3 different versions. So you would classic, wispy, and extra mega volume or whatever, right?
Oh, you made them switch right away.
So now, like classic is like really down. These two are like, God damn, like this sucks on this.
I don't know. Maybe not. But the volume is so pretty.
Oh man.
Yeah, now you have to encounter a little bit from a logistical standpoint the fact that Lash Classic might take you an hour and then the other 2 might take you 3 hours.
Yeah.
So because when you start doing that
yeah,
a couple
like
times, you book your customers in between because
Because
it's
you need,
important.
and then you need time to like just have a break, right?
In between, right? You get- But yeah, with time, you're just gonna get better and better by doing it, right? Now, if Instagram is telling you the audience is too small because maybe the cities that you're trying to promote, they're too, look at the cities next door. 2 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles down the road. 5 maybe it's too far, but 2-3 miles around. Pick the 4 cities that surround your own city, and make the age bracket, whatever your customer is, only woman. And then now your video testimonial with the before and after, you throw in the before and after thing in photo in the video too. And now all the ideal customers, again, on and off. You need customer, turn it on.
This is on Instagram. I'm sorry.
Instagram and Facebook. So they both allow you to boost. It's a button you'll see when you post
Oh,
something.
yeah.
It's a blue button that says
I
boost.
boosted something before, and it did work.
Oh yeah.
$30, you'll probably get a lot more.
You
Yeah,
can
so
find
you-
nothing on me.
Again,
Not yet.
think about this. Don't be quote unquote cheap when you try to promote.
Yeah.
Don't just think I'm just gonna put $2 a day, so $60 a month, and expect
How much do
magic.
you recommend when you
Start-
start getting?
Start with $5. Raise it always. You can always raise 25%, 50% when you depends how how it works.
Yeah.
Do you see people DMing you? Because it's gonna ask you, what do you want to do? So the purpose of this ad should be get more direct messages. That's the best way to start
text
getting
you.
customers. You don't need a website now. You don't need when the website is ready. You put it in the bio. You put it in the website spot. But remember, even if you pay $300 to promote one thing, you only need one set of lashes. Let's say you charge $300 to make the numbers easy. Or even if it's $200 at first, right? You only need one customer to break even. All the money that you make from refills are profit. So don't be cheap when you think, I'm just gonna promote 10, 20 bucks, right?
Yeah.
I every time when I teach marketing and talk about this, specifically advertising, a lot of people think, I'm just gonna not spend much, but expect a lot more in return. I don't know where the stigma of the advertising came. It's the best thing that can happen to a business. You just get more exposure without people knowing who you are, without having followers. Like you can have 0 followers and this would work.
Yeah.
You promote, you can have 0 if you start your account today. You post about it once,
then
you can even use it to get more followers eventually. But
That's why I'm not like crazy about, because I have a page right now,
but then the Instagram.
but I don't have, I was telling them I don't use it. So like when I start the business, it's gonna be like on 0.
make sure you set up
Watch.
the account as a business.
Yeah,
account.
Business account,
Yeah, because if not, you're not
Fine.
gonna be able to integrate it with Facebook either. So it's gonna be a little tricky.
I've never done a business account.
It's the same. It's a setting that asks. It's called professional account. That's what it's
I
called.
had one just because I wanted to be nosy and see how many people were like. You can see
My
the same
cousin told me to do
code.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
But so we haven't talked much about the sales hat. Obviously, you know what the lash tag means, but sales hat means the moment somebody gets into your DM, it's not marketing anymore. Now you know. Now you have to convince them to buy. The same thing is on the phone. Remember when you talked to Cosmina, when she booked the call with you, when you jumped on the call, now she was the salesperson. She wasn't the trainer. She's the trainer these 3 days. She wasn't the trainer anymore during that time. You just have to learn how to switch your mindset.
Yeah.
So when people get to the DM, marketing is over. Now you have to sell. When people go on the phone, same thing. If also at the end of a set, when the person's ready, you ask for the look in the mirror, take the lash tech off, the lash tech hat off, you put this up. Now let's book your refill. So by the way, I have in 2 weeks I have this, and this available. If you book your refill now, you get $20 off, whatever. I can use this technique to have them book the refill before they leave. Why?
Yeah.
They're right there, they're happy, they're in a state of,
And you have
and you don't have to pay for it. Again, when it comes to advertising. You realize you start posting, you start promoting 2 or 3 of these different posts. One time you promote a video, it's a testimonial maybe. One time you promote before and after photo. One typically is going to outperform the other one. Just stop the other one, make the other one put more budget into it. You can always edit the budget and then do more.
If you got a passion for lashes, let me see it. It's time to level up. If you need me to, I'll teach you my 6-figure secret. Better believe it, 'cause I believe in you. You're listening to the Full-Time Lash Artist Podcast. If you want to jumpstart your lash career, you can also watch Cosme's free lash training at www.fulltimelashartist.com. Let's grow.